If you clicked on this video, then like me, you're probably a very ambitious, aspirational person. See, I'm a sucker for any video that tells me how to have my best year yet. But after trying to chase the unicorn of having my best year yet for the last 5, maybe even 10 years since going down the self-improvement rabbit hole, I've learned there's a dark but painstakingly obvious truth amongst it all. Hey, if we haven't met, my name's Daniel Mamba, and I want to share an alternative perspective if you feel like you are constantly clawing and reaching for having your best year yet while being too busy to actually recognize if you're ever amongst it. With 2025 coming to a close and us just about to come into 2026, I actually asked myself the question, and I want to invite you to do the same. What if 2025 was your best year yet? But right now, you just don't have the wisdom, the hindsight, or the ability to actually look back and recognize it right now. You know how sometimes you look back at the worst things that ever happened to you, the breakup, the sudden redundancy at work, someone was taken from your life, something awful happened to you. But with enough time, healing, and wisdom, you can actually see how that often became the catalyst for some of the best things that ever came forward. I'm not here to glorify trauma. I'm not here to try and gaslight or downplay the severity of whatever season or adversity you might be going through. Because trust me, I've gone through my fair share in the last 5 years. That's including having a father suddenly pass away from a sudden heart attack, having to resign twice from a full-time job as a result of burnout and frustration, and clamoring and struggling to build my own business, having to face having my savings go down to a couple of months worth left of just rent payments and daily groceries, and contemplating if I was even able to continue doing that or needing to go back to get a full-time job. A season where my partner and I really had to have a hard conversation and contemplate what our future was, if there was one together or if we had to part our separate ways. These are many of the things that have happened in the last couple of years, and I'm not here to have a pity party. I'm sure that in your own life, you might have similar experiences of that nature. I'm saying all this because I don't want this to be another rah-rah motivational pep talk video. There's plenty of them in the newsfeed from creators that are far better and far more articulate than I am. I'm sharing this because I want to put a line in the sand, both for myself and hopefully for you watching this, in recognizing that those bottom down moments, those face in the arena moments when all the chips are against you and your back's against the wall, create the catalyst. They create the pressure that help you springboard forward and generate what is your best year yet. Have you ever noticed the transformation stories of some of the creators, influencers, celebrities, or artists that you maybe most admire and take inspiration from all talk about having some of those pivotal turning moments in their life where everything was up against them and they thought they were going to give up, and then all of a sudden they turned and made magic happen? Well, you might be going through that right now. If you are going through some real if you are going through something that is knocking you right now, or you are in the months following that, my friend, I'm telling you, that is the very fabric that is going to create the story that you will be telling in 1, 2, or 3 years from right now. And I'm sorry if that's exactly what you're experiencing right now. I can't take the tonic or the poison that is currently in my life, but I can only inspire or hope that you can alchemize what you have right now, take the pain and turn it into your gain. Make that mess that you are currently in into a message that you will be sharing in a couple of years later. While 2025 wasn't a year where I broke records and cured cancer and climbed Mount Everest, the achievements that I had, the things I was able to do in my personal, my professional life, my relationships around all the areas and the highest values that matter to me, blow me away. Because it is day and night from where I was 5, 6 years ago when I was navigating the grief, the family challenges, the business wind-ups of my late father in 2019 to 2020, before diving into a season of being locked down in a state that I had just moved to for a job that I just secured, while having my own existential crisis in my late 20s. Because there's one thing I learned in the 3 to 4 years leading up to my 2025, a year that, at least in my respect, was one for the books. 2025 would not have happened the way it did if it wasn't for everything that happened in the years prior. And I now have a gratitude and appreciation and a love for everything that happened in those years that was the prerequisite for all the habits, the decisions, the actions, the changes, the things I would now do to create the results I had in 2025. By no means is this a flex list, but it's some things that are meaningful to me. I was able to run and participate in my first ever men's High Rocks event with one of my longtime high school mates, housemates, travel mates, Harry Stovey, in a record time that we are so stoked with and keen to beat again. I was able to travel every quarter to either a local or an international trip with my partner while we were both making major headwind in our finances and in our professional careers. I was able to have the privilege of running 4 cohorts alongside Tom Nosk of our program, Time to Build, helping hundreds of creators, visionaries, and entrepreneurs from all over the world build a powerful personal brand and help serve and impact their own communities across the world. But ironically, on the same note, if I actually took you through some of the things that I set for myself at the end of 2025, here's a secret. I nearly failed in all of my goals across the board. I didn't average the 10,000 steps a day that I wanted to. I didn't average the 8.5 hours of sleep I was planning to have. I didn't hit $50,000 a month in earned revenue, a goal that I had. But you know what's really funny? As a student in our Time to Build program, Nelson Dong shared when he hit a beautiful milestone for one of his upcoming launches, he shared that if you aim for the moon and you fail, you will land amongst the stars. And that is the value of setting big, crazy, unreasonable goals at the start of your year and then being willing to forget about them. If you didn't hit your 2025 goals, but you took actions necessary to achieve that goal in the next year, in the next 3, or the next 5, that, my friend, is actually the success. Having written years worth of goals that I actually haven't achieved, the real achievement in hindsight, and I'm sure you can attest to this yourself, is that you had to start taking actions, reading books, learning new things, getting uncomfortable or getting out of your comfort zone, starting to take actions that have slowly snowballed and kicked off so many other things that would not have happened. See, the value in setting a goal isn't necessarily its achievement or not. Let's be completely honest. The achievement of a goal is a split-second outcome. It comes and goes. It's transient, it's fleeting. Like when my partner finished her 4-year degree to graduate as a midwife, over 1,000 hours, unpaid placement hours. She said she walked out of the hospital and there was no fanfare, there was no celebrations. It's like nothing had changed. For the few goals that you actually hit, whether it's to a specific date, criteria, or a number, the moment you experience it is fleeting. It comes and goes, and you're already looking on to the next adventure. But the value, my friend, is all the changes in your behavior, your actions, and your perceptions you had to take in order to even move in that direction. Because let's be completely honest, my friend, like most people, we try and focus majority of our time on an outcome goal. An outcome goal might be the number of followers you gain on your social media account. It could be the revenue or the sales figure that you have for your brand or for your business, or the reduction in kilograms if you're trying to lose weight, or if you're trying to run a 4-minute kilometer or faster, whatever the goal might be, whether it's a marathon or an endurance event or a high rocks in my case. But if I'm really honest with you, we don't have absolute control over the achievement or the fulfillment of these. See, these outcome goals, I call them secondary targets. They're downstream of your primary target. And the primary target, my friend, it's pretty straightforward. It's all the things that you have to start doing that you can actually control and influence in order to become the kind of person that fulfills these goals. And often you need some kind of fire up the arse, some accountability, some rock bottom moment, some line in the sand where you say to yourself, enough is enough. I'm going to start doing the things I need to do, or undoing the things I have been doing to give me different results in my life. And it can look like this: the number of pieces of content you publish if you're growing your personal brand in 2026 onwards. It could be the number of times that you make a call to action or promotion to sell your cause, whether you're doing a fundraiser, a GoFundMe, you're promoting your lead magnet, maybe it's your core or signature program or online product or service that you have, or the number of runs or workouts that you do in a week. You have a direct control over these numbers, over moving these metrics. And by doing so, you have a higher likelihood, a higher probability of your secondary targets, of these outcomes occurring. I always think of the input as what are you willing to put in to achieve your outcome? That outcome could be income. That outcome could be any of these that you've got on the screen right now, but I really implore you to think right now. How can you use the lessons, the firepower, the catalysts, the burns, the wounds, the scars that you have from 2025 or whatever year you're watching this in right now, and use that as the fuel, use that as the tonic that you can alchemize to make magic happen in the following year? Because my friend, if you came to me in 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, and told me that those are my best years, I probably would have laughed at you and realistically told you those were actually some of my worst years, but I have a love and appreciation because they were the necessary years that I needed in order to springboard into the kind of successes that I'm having now. It might take you longer than you're expecting, my friend. You might want results yesterday. You might want to have that breakthrough in your life or in your business or in your relationship by the 31st of December next year. And let's be honest, my friend, between you and me, we know that you can't really control that, but you can control all the actions that are upstream of that result. Set that goal, figure out what are all of the actions you would need to achieve it, and then drop that goal from your radar and just get at it. Make action the goal. That's all it is. And just interrupting my video because I know that if you're still watching this, you're the kind of person that would benefit from having a guided set of questions. I know I definitely would have 5-6 years ago, which is why I'm giving out the same guidance I use to go from my outcomes to my daily inputs, the weekly inputs, the monthly ones that are going to move the needle and make me take this vague idea of what I want to achieve into something that's real and something I can influence. If you want that set of questions that I use every year, in the top line of the description or somewhere whereabouts this video, enter in your email address and in a couple of minutes, I'll send you across the very same questions I walk through at this time every single year. I hope it helps and I'll see you soon. So my friend, do not let another year go to waste without extracting the lessons and the wisdom that are going to help set you up for your best year It might be 2026. It might be another year in the future. At this rate, I don't even know what the future is going to hold for all of us. But I can wholeheartedly tell you and just encourage right now that if you just focus on what you can control and block everything else out, all the other noise out there, the outcomes of your goals are inevitable. It just might take a little bit longer than you expect. Whatever year it is that you're looking forward to, I hope you can embrace exactly where you are right now. If you're seeing this at the end of the year, well then I wish you a happy new year. Or if you're already in the thick of a new year, drop a comment and let me know what's your input goal? What are you willing to put in? And what is the outcome that you're striving towards? And if you made it this far, I appreciate you, my friend. I hope this video has served you, sending you big, big love and an awesome new year ahead. I'll chat to you soon.